this one, it's 9 minus -6. And our student just isn't sure, you know, if that would be 15 or 3 or something else.
Okay.
I think the minus a negative number is kind of
Throws people off a bit.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. My pen's not working.
Is it your pen or your tablet? Let me see if it works on mine. Yeah, it works on mine.
Okay.
Hey, how about this? Because I feel like you're much better at explaining these. Like, I'm just going to say what the answer is,
Okay.
and I can write it down.
Okay.
So we're talking about 9 minus -6, and I always think about the number line.
Okay.
Is that how you do it? Or
No.
I know you do the algebra tiles,
I do, yeah, algebra and integer tiles.
and you've explained it to me like 4 or 5 times, and I still don't quite know how to explain it.
Okay. Do you want
But
me
it
to
kinda
do you want me to
makes
show you?
Sure.
I'll describe it while you draw it.
Okay, so I wrote it up here, 9 minus -6, and I always think of like the number line. Maybe I'll explain it my way.
You do
really
your
quick.
way. My
I
computer will
think-
be ready by the time.
Yeah, all right. So when I think of this, I think about the number line. And I think, let's start at 9. I'm going to just do a bunch of marks here. 4 or 5. Just going to do a whole bunch of them. And then I think, look, we're starting at 9, and we're subtracting a number. So when we think about the number line, it's more positive on this direction and negative in this direction. Oh. So I'm kind of going like 9 and then 8, 7, right? Our numbers are getting lower and lower. So when we see a minus, we're typically thinking we're starting here at 9 and we're going in the negative direction. But because we're subtracting a negative, we have 2 negatives here. We got this negative and then we got this negative. We actually go minus a negative. So instead of going the opposite direction, we go the opposite twice, and we end up going in a positive direction. We go +6. So that's why we end up with 9 plus 6, which is 15. That's the way I always, but I feel like I have a hard time explaining this sometimes.
Well, it's difficult to explain.
Yeah.
It is difficult to explain.
Like minus and negative sounds like a weird
If you think of like a
concept.
minus as an opposite sign, and minus is telling
Yeah.
us to go left, and then it's saying, well, minus and negative, so the opposite
Right.
of left, you're going to the right.
Exactly.
So you can think of it that way.
Like when
No,
you're
that's a
wrong
number
twice,
line
you're
model.
right. I think that's how it works, right? If you're wrong
Yeah,
about
2
two
wrongs
things,
make a
then
right.
you're right. Yeah.
Obviously. Here, if you give me the pen, I'll show you
All right,
the.
is it working
So
now?
that's one model, and we're saying his way and my way, but really it's not. There are two models you can kind of think of when you think of integers. There's the number line model, and then there's also maybe the chips or the tile model, and I'll show you with that model as well. And you know, honestly, I have a lot of experience teaching integers, and both of them are really valid. Both of them extend into higher level math. And really, there's not really one that works better than others. It's just kind of preference. I don't know. Some kids just kind of lean towards the chips, and some of them lean towards the number line. But so the big idea, one of the big ideas with the chips is that a positive and a negative together. So like if I had, for example, +1 and -1, and I combined these two things, what they make is you could call a zero pair. They equal 0. They cancel each other out. So if I had $1, but then I owed Nate $1, then I would be back to 0. So this idea of a zero pair, or a positive and a negative, just equals 0. So equals 0, cancels each other. So I can represent positive numbers with plus signs, and I can represent negative numbers with minus signs. So I could say +9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the other thing that we kind of need to understand when we're thinking about this is that a minus sign, what that means, or the action that we're doing when we're subtracting something, is we're taking away. It means take away. So what we're kind of thinking of here is we have +9, we're starting with +9, and we need to take away -6. Now, what you might notice with the way that I represented +9 is that there's no real way to take away -6, the way that I've represented it. So what we can do is use this idea of a zero pair, or zeros, to represent +9 in a little bit different of a way. I could, 9 minus 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the other thing that we kind of need to understand when we're thinking about this is that a minus sign, what that means, or the action that we're doing when we're subtracting something, is we're taking away. It means take away. So what we're kind of thinking of here is we have +9, we're starting with +9, and we need to take away -6. Now, what you might notice with the way that I represented +9 is that there's no real way to take away -6, the way that I've represented it. So what we can do is use this idea of a zero pair, or zeros, to represent +9 in a little bit different of a way. I could add as many zeros to this positive 9 as I wanted to, and I'm not changing the value of it. So I now have, I just added a 0 pair, a positive and a negative. My value is still positive 9. I'm adding another positive and negative. Now I have 2 negatives. I'm getting to the point where maybe I can take away 6 negatives. Oops, my negative disappeared. And so what you might see or notice is that I need to add 6 of these little 0 pairs, if you will, so that I can take away 6 negatives from this. So again, if you look at the diagram that I have represented, is I still have positive 9 represented. I have a bunch of zeros added to it, but it's still positive 9, the value of it. As I mentioned, now I can take away this negative 6. If you think about, so all of this is our negative 6. This has a value of negative 6, and I can take it away. And then once I take it away, then we look at the value of what we have left, and we can count all of our positives. We have 15 positive signs, so therefore we have positive 15. Hence, why taking away a negative is like adding a positive.
Wow, that's the first time it's made sense to me. Like, I actually think I could explain it to another student now.